There is a strange law that governs hidden knowledge. The loud secret is never the real one. The real one travels quietly. It moves through centuries like a sealed ember carried under ash, waiting for the exact breath that will make it glow again. And if you were hearing this now, if your attention has locked onto these words like a key turning inside an old door, then something in you already knows what most people never suspect, that your inner power is not missing, it is dormant. And dormancy is not weakness. Dormancy is protection. The ancient alchemists understood this with brutal clarity. They did not call awakening a gift, they called it a fire, because fire changes what it touches permanently. In modern times, people chase transformation like entertainment. They want a quick thrill, a bright sign, an instant miracle. But the old codes were designed to do the opposite. They were designed to remove noise until the only thing left is the signal you were born with, the original frequency beneath your identity, the one you felt as a child before the world trained you to fracture. These codes were never written as ordinary instructions. They were hidden in symbols, prayers, chants, breath patterns, temple acoustics. In Egypt, they were disguised as myth, so the unready would treat them as stories. In India, they were guarded inside mantra lineages. In Tibet, they were placed inside sound and silence itself, because only a disciplined mind can hear what is not being shouted. And here is the part that should make you uneasy in a good way. You don't learn these codes, you remember them. Not with your intellect, with your nervous system, with your bones, with the way your breath suddenly changes when a truth is near. So listen carefully. This is not a performance. This is an initiation disguised as a video. Tonight, or sometime within the next 24 hours, you will do a small practice. Not a long one, not complicated, but precise. And the strange promise of these teachings is this: doing it correctly just once can shift your inner field in a way that never fully resets. Not because you become magical, but because you stop leaking energy into unconscious patterns. And when the leaks seal, power returns. Before we begin, I need to give you the prerequisite the alchemists would consider non-negotiable. Do not do this while driving. Do not do this while operating anything risky. Sit or lie down. If you have a history of panic attacks, seizures, or a condition where breathwork can trigger symptoms, go gently, shorten everything, or skip the breath holds. This is spiritual training, not medical advice. Your safety is part of the ritual. Now, place one hand on your chest, one hand on your lower belly. Close your eyes. Inhale through the nose for a slow count of 4. Hold for a count of 2 gently. Exhale through the mouth for a count of 6. Do that again. And as you exhale the second time, imagine you are breathing out a layer of false urgency that has been glued to your life. Not your responsibilities, not your love, just the frantic static that keeps your mind addicted to tension. One more breath like that. Good. Now you are at the doorway where real codes can be received. Because the first code is not a symbol, it is a condition. Silence created on purpose. In a moment, I will open the first Alchemist code. It is called a code because it reorganizes the way your attention locks onto reality, and attention is the oldest form of power. If you feel a flicker of fear, that is normal. Fear is the guardian of thresholds. The mistake is to treat fear as a stop sign. The alchemists treated it as a lantern. It means something important is near. When you are ready, enter Section 1. The Furnace Code. This is the ancient alchemist method of awakening dormant power by igniting inner coherence rather than chasing outer intensity. There is a lie hidden inside modern manifestation culture. It says power comes from force, from effort, from trying harder, from repeating a phrase until reality gives up and obeys you. The old alchemists would laugh at that, not because they were cruel, but because they had seen what force does to the human field. Force creates heat without purity. It burns you, not the obstruction. The furnace code is different. It is not about intensity, it is about containment. In the medieval diagrams, you'll see the athanor, the sealed oven. In Egypt, you'll see the closed chamber, the inner sanctum where sound behaves differently. In India, you'll hear of tapas, the inner heat that refines the mind. In Tibet, you'll find tumo, the fire that rises when breath and attention become one spear. Different cultures, same engine. A sealed vessel, a steady flame, a transformation that happens quietly. Because in true alchemy, the point is not to create fireworks. The point is to change the nature of the material. And you are the material. I still remember the first time I felt this code activate. It did not feel like euphoria. It felt like someone had turned down the volume of my thoughts by exactly half. And in that lowered noise, I became aware of something I had never noticed. A low, steady current beneath my personality. It was always there, like a hidden river under stone. I had been too loud to hear it. This is what modern science circles around without touching the sacred language. When your nervous system calms, the brain shifts its rhythms. When your attention becomes coherent, your perception changes. Researchers talk about neural oscillations, vagal tone, coherence, synchronization. The alchemists called it something simpler. The fire is steady, the vessel is sealed, the gold begins to appear. But here's the warning they never put on the posters. If you do this with greed, it backfires. Because greed is a leak in the vessel, and the furnace code requires a sealed container. So before you begin, you must pass the first psychological gate. Stop trying to get something. Instead, prepare to become something. Now I'm going to guide you through the practical activation. It takes less than 3 minutes. The change can last far longer. Sit upright. Let your spine be tall but not rigid, like a candle that has learned dignity without tension. Bring your tongue gently to the roof of the mouth, just behind the teeth. This is not superstition. Across traditions, this position stabilizes the breath and reduces mental scattering. It is a small seal. Now, choose one point to hold your attention. Not a fantasy, not an image, a point. The easiest is the space between the eyebrows, but do it gently, do not strain. Imagine you were looking through that point into a far distance, not squeezing it. This is the vessel. Now we add the flame. Inhale through the nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. Exhale through the nose for a count of 4. Empty for a count of 4. This is the square breath, known in different forms across lineages. 4/8 equal lengths. It creates internal symmetry. Symmetry is the language your energy field recognizes as safety. Do this for 4 rounds, and as you do it, watch what your mind tries to do. It will bargain, it will narrate, it will ask if it's working, it will try to quit early. That is not failure, that is the unrefined metal showing itself. Now, after the 4th round, inhale normally and let the breath settle. Here comes the Alchemist code hidden in plain sight. You will hum one note, not loudly, not artistically, a single steady hum that you can sustain comfortably. If you don't know what note to choose, choose whatever is natural and hum it for 33 seconds. Why 33? Because it is long enough to carry you past the mind's first resistance wave, but short enough to keep the vessel sealed. Many people quit at 10 seconds. At 20 seconds, the body begins to soften. Around 30 seconds, something changes. The breath becomes a temple. Begin now. Feel it in the chest, feel it behind the face, feel the skull become a resonant chamber. This is where Egypt meets physics. Temples were built to shape resonance, not to impress the eyes. The human body is also a temple. Bone conducts vibration, tissue responds, breath becomes a bellows, attention becomes the sculptor. As you hum, keep your attention on the point between the eyebrows. Do not force visions, do not chase colors. That chasing is a leak. Simply hold the point, keep the hum steady. When the 33 seconds end, stop the sound abruptly and remain completely still. Do not move, do not swallow, do not adjust. You are now at the moment the alchemists cared about most, the moment after vibration. The silence that follows the sound is not empty, it is structured. It is like the air after a thunderclap, when everything feels sharper. Stay in that silence for 7 breaths. Inhale, exhale. 1. Inhale, exhale. 2. By breath 4, you might notice a subtle pressure in the forehead, or a widening behind the eyes, or a strange calm that feels too quiet, almost unfamiliar. That is one of the signs the furnace code is touching the dormant circuitry. And here is a side effect many people misunderstand. You may feel emotional waves, sadness without a story, anger without a target, a sudden tenderness that makes you want to cry. This is not you getting worse. This is the vessel sealing enough that old fragments rise to be purified. Do not dramatize it. Do not post about it like a badge. Just observe. The mental traps at this stage are famous, and they ruin more initiates than failure ever could. The prophet trap. You feel something real, and your ego inflates. You want to correct everyone. You want to announce you are awake. That inflation cracks the vessel. The collector trap. You want more techniques, more secrets, more videos, more stimulants. The mind becomes a hoarder and never refines anything. That also cracks the vessel. The mirror trap. You keep checking yourself. Am I different? Is my third eye open? Did it work? This checking is like opening the oven every 30 seconds to see if the bread is rising. It collapses the process. If you avoid these traps, something extremely quiet begins to build over the next 24 to 72 hours. A subtle increase in inner power. Not aggression, not mania. Power as in presence. You may notice you speak less but mean more. You may notice you crave less chaos. You may feel a strange intolerance for low-frequency habits that used to feel normal. That is the gold beginning to appear. And remember the central promise. Doing it once correctly can shift your energy field in a way that does not fully revert. Because your nervous system has now tasted coherence. And once coherence is known, the old fragmentation feels like a lie. If you did the furnace code with me, mark it. Do not mark it with pride. Mark it with devotion. Go to the comments and type, "I have activated the furnace code." Or, "The journey has begun." This is not just engagement, this is resonance. In old traditions, the vow spoken aloud anchors the new frequency in the body. When many speak it together, the field strengthens. The mirror code. This is the hidden alchemist method of awakening inner vision by training perception to recognize truth before thought explains it. Most people think the third eye is a mystical flashlight, like you open it and suddenly you see glowing symbols, past lives, angels, pyramids, and secret messages written across the sky. That fantasy sells well, but it is not the ancient teaching. The ancient teaching is colder, sharper, and far more dangerous to the ego.
Because inner vision is not the ability to see more stuff. Inner vision is the ability to see without distortion. And distortion is not a spiritual concept, it is a biological habit. You don't perceive reality. You perceive your nervous system's best guess, built from memory, fear, desire, and repetition. Modern neuroscience calls it predictive processing. The Hermetic texts called it the veil. The Tibetans called it illusion. The Egyptians encoded it as the serpent that coils around the eye. Different languages, same truth. Your mind is not a window, it is a projector. The mirror code is the moment the projector quiets down long enough for you to notice the screen. I learned this the hard way. I expected awakening to feel like rising into light. Instead, it felt like being caught lying to myself. Not dramatic lies, small lies. The lie that I was too busy to listen to my own body. The lie that I needed more knowledge before I could be ready. The lie that other people were the reason I felt heavy. When the mirror code activates, it doesn't flatter you. It shows you the exact point where your energy leaks. And for many people, that moment is unbearable. This is why the alchemists hid the code behind symbols, not to be mysterious, to protect the unready from despair. Because the first thing you often see with real inner vision is not angels, it's your own unconscious, and that can feel like looking into a mirror in a dark room and realizing the monster was your own posture all along. Now, I need to give you a warning before I give you the practice. If you are using spiritual work to escape your life, this code will feel like an attack. If you are using spiritual work to become superior, this code will humiliate you. If you are using spiritual work to avoid grief, this code will bring grief to the surface. This is not punishment, this is purification. In alchemy, the mirror is used to reveal impurities in the metal. If you can tolerate seeing without flinching, your power returns rapidly. If you cannot, you will either quit or you will start hallucinating meaning everywhere to avoid the raw truth. That second path is the trap, the obsession trap. People activate subtle perception, then become addicted to signs. They assign cosmic meaning to every number, every song lyric, every random coincidence. They treat intuition like a slot machine. They become fragile, paranoid, inflated. The alchemists called this smoke in the chamber. It looks like mystery, but it is just unrefined mind. So here is the prerequisite for the mirror code. Your goal is not to see visions, your goal is to see clearly, and clarity often arrives as simplicity. Now we begin. This practice is older than its names. You can find traces in Egyptian temple discipline, in yogic trataka, in Tibetan gaze practices, and in Hermetic concentration training. It is simple enough that the arrogant will dismiss it, which is exactly why it works. Sit comfortably. Dim the lights if you can, but do not sit in complete darkness. You want soft shadow, like the inside of an old temple corridor. Place a small object in front of you at eye level. A candle flame is traditional, but if you don't have one, use the corner of a picture frame, a dot on the wall, a small crystal, anything with a clear edge. Now take 3 slow breaths, and as you breathe, remember the furnace code: containment, sealing, quiet power. Bring your tongue gently to the roof of the mouth again. Seal. Now open your eyes and look at the object. Not with aggression, not with effort. Look as if the object is letting you look back at it. This is the first key. Most people stare like they are attacking. The mirror code uses a different kind of seeing, soft but unwavering, like a predator in the forest that does not blink from fear, but from calm certainty. Keep your gaze on the object for 60 seconds. During this minute, your mind will start producing commentary. This is stupid. My eyes are watering. Am I doing it right? I'm bored. I should check my phone. Good. That commentary is the projector trying to reclaim the screen. Do not fight it. Just notice it. and keep the gaze. At around 45 seconds, you may notice something subtle. The edges of the object become sharper, then softer, then sharp again. Your nervous system is learning to hold stable attention without panic. After 60 seconds, gently close your eyes, and here is the code. You will now look at the afterimage, that faint imprint of the object behind your eyelids. Do not force it, do not chase it, just observe it as it shifts. This is where modern science and ancient mystery shake hands. Afterimages are known visual phenomenon, but the alchemists used them like training wheels. Because the point is not the afterimage, the point is what happens when you hold awareness steady while an image dissolves. Most people panic when things dissolve. They rush to replace them. That is the whole human problem in one sentence. Now, as you watch the afterimage dissolve, keep a small part of your attention on the space between the eyebrows. Not tension, just location. When the afterimage dissolves, you may notice a strange blank behind your eyes, a clean space. For some people, it feels like falling backward. For others, it feels like relief. For a few, it feels like fear because the mind interprets emptiness as danger. This blank is the gate. This is the mirror, and in this mirror, something begins to awaken. The ability to notice energy before the story forms. Now, while your eyes are closed, I want you to do something very precise. You will inhale gently through the nose. On the exhale, whisper, barely audible, the syllable tha. Not toth, not ra, not a dramatic chant, just tha. Why tha? Because it is a clean consonant that activates the throat and the breath, and in many old languages it carries the vibration of opening. It is also simple enough that your mind cannot build a religion around it. Whisper tha on the exhale 7 times, slowly. Tha. Pause. Tha. By the 4th whisper, you may feel a subtle vibration in the face, the palate, the brow, or you may feel nothing obvious. Do not chase sensation. Sensation chasing is the collector trap wearing perfume. After the 7th whisper, stop. Remain still. Now comes the test. Without moving your body, ask yourself internally, very softly, what is here when I do not name it? Do not answer with words, just wait. This question is a solvent. It dissolves automatic labeling. It invites direct perception. And in that pause, some people feel a startling presence. Not a being, a presence, like awareness standing upright inside the skull. For others, there is a moment of pure silence, then the mind rushes back in, terrified of being irrelevant. If that happens, you will feel the mind restart like a machine turning on. Good. That means you touched the switch. Even one touch matters. Now, open your eyes again and repeat the object gaze for 30 seconds. Close the eyes. Watch the afterimage dissolve. Whisper tha 3 times this time. Ask again, what is here when I do not name it? And then stop completely. This entire sequence takes less than 5 minutes, but it trains something most humans never develop: the ability to remain present while perception changes. This is the root of intuition, because intuition is not a psychic performance. It is perception without the noise of fear. Now, let me tell you what you may feel over the next day if the mirror code has activated. First sign, you become harder to manipulate. Not because you become aggressive, because you sense distortion in conversations. You feel when someone is performing. You feel when you are performing. You feel when a choice is being made from hunger rather than truth. Second sign, dreams intensify. Not always pleasant, the unconscious begins to release stored imagery. You may dream of temples, corridors, water, snakes, old teachers, lost places. Dreams are the psyche's way of reorganizing. Third sign, you may experience moments of too much clarity that feel almost cold, like you suddenly see your habits as mechanical. That coldness can scare people. They think they are becoming numb. You are not becoming numb, you are becoming unhypnotized. And here is the side effect that initiates whisper about but rarely confess. Loneliness. Not social loneliness, a strange inner loneliness, because you realize how much of your life was spent in
the Serpent Code. This is the ancient method of awakening dormant inner power by guiding vibration through the central channel without triggering obsession, mania, or spiritual inflation. People love the serpent as a symbol because it feels dramatic. Kundalini, Uraeus, dragonfire, sacred coil, the rising force that turns humans into gods. But the way most people talk about it is childish. They want fireworks, they want instant awakening, they want a cosmic event they can brag about. If the ancient initiates were alive to hear that, they wouldn't be impressed. They would be alarmed. Because the Serpent Code is not a party trick, it is a voltage increase. And if your wiring is unstable, voltage doesn't give you enlightenment, it gives you short circuits. This is why lineages hid the code behind riddles, and why so many old texts sound like warnings disguised as poetry. The serpent is not dangerous because it is evil. It is dangerous because it is honest. It amplifies what is already in you. If you have peace, it amplifies peace. If you have unresolved trauma, it amplifies instability. If you have a hungry ego, it amplifies hunger until you become unbearable to yourself. So let me speak with the cold voice of the old temples for a moment. If you are seeking power to control others, stop now. These codes will poison you, not as punishment, as physics. Power without purification becomes distortion, and distortion burns the vessel. Now, if you are still here, it means you are not looking for spectacle. You are looking for return. Return to your original inner strength. The Serpent Code is not about rising like escaping the earth. It is about alignment. In Egypt, the serpent on the forehead of the pharaoh was not decoration. It signified a specific kind of consciousness, upright, coherent, protected by the stability of its own spine. In India, the serpentine force was described as Shakti, not as a monster, but as the raw intelligence of life itself. In Tibet, the same principle appears in channel work, winds and drops, where breath is trained so energy can move without tearing the mind apart. In modern language, you could say it like this: when breath, posture, and attention become synchronized, the nervous system shifts into a higher order pattern. Your dormant power is not a magical substance. It is your system operating without fragmentation. And the spine is the antenna. I still remember the night I first felt this code. I did not see lights. I did not hear angels. I felt something far more unsettling. My spine felt like it had become a straight corridor. And inside that corridor, there was a silent movement. Not muscular, not imagined. A movement of attention that had weight. It made me sit taller without trying. It made my breath deepen without forcing. And for a few minutes, the world felt calibrated. That is the Serpent Code in its pure form. Not ecstasy, calibration. Now here is the trap that ruins people at this stage. They chase the sensation. They want it again, stronger, higher, faster. They start forcing breath holds, forcing bandhas, forcing energy up the spine, and they trigger anxiety, insomnia, pressure headaches, dissociation, obsessive thinking. Then they call it awakening. No, that is strain. The Serpent Code is subtle and precise. If you do it right,
you will feel more grounded, not less, more present, not more spaced out, more stable, not more dramatic. So here is the prerequisite. If you cannot stay calm in silence, do not push this. If you are sleep deprived, intoxicated, or emotionally volatile, do not push this. You can still practice, but gently with shorter rounds, because the serpent rises in a sealed vessel. We already built the vessel with the furnace code. We cleaned the perception with the mirror code. Now we invite the serpent to move. Sit upright, feet on the floor if you are in a chair. If you are on the ground, sit cross-legged, but elevate your hips slightly with a pillow if your lower back collapses. Now place your awareness at the base of your spine. Not a fantasy image, just a location. Imagine there is a small point of warmth there, like a coal that has been waiting for air. Now inhale through the nose, slow and deep, and as you inhale, feel the breath travel up the spine in your awareness. Again, you are not forcing energy, you are guiding attention. On the exhale, feel the breath travel down the spine in awareness, returning to the base. Do this for 7 breaths. Up on inhale, down on exhale. By breath 3, your mind may wander. Bring it back gently. By breath 5, you might feel tingling or heat or nothing. Do not chase. After 7 breaths, we add the code that makes this alchemy. You will silently repeat 1 word on the inhale and 1 word on the exhale. On the inhale, silently repeat rise. On the exhale, silently repeat seal. Rise, seal. This pair is not poetry, it is instruction. Rise invites the current to lift. Seal prevents leakage into anxiety. Now do 7 rounds. Inhale, rise. Exhale, seal. As you do this, keep your jaw relaxed. Relax the eyes. Let the face be neutral. This prevents the mind from turning it into a performance. Now, after the 7th round, stop the mental words. Hold your breath softly at the top of the inhale for 2 seconds. Just 2. Then exhale slowly. When you exhale, imagine you are letting the breath wash down the inside of the spine like warm water through a narrow channel. And then sit completely still for 10 seconds. This stillness is where the code actually activates. The serpent does not climb during effort. It climbs during coherent pause. Now listen carefully to what you might notice. Some people feel a gentle pressure at the crown. Some feel warmth in the chest. Some feel a subtle current behind the heart. Some feel a quiet joy that has no reason. And some feel fear, because the system interprets increased coherence as unfamiliar, and the mind mistakes unfamiliar for unsafe. If fear arises, do not fight it. Do not feed it. Name it softly in your mind. Fear is here. Then return attention to the base of the spine. This is important. The base is safety. The serpent rises best from safety, not from panic. Now repeat the entire sequence 1 more time. 7 breaths, up and down. 7 rounds, rise, seal. 2-second hold, slow exhale, 10 seconds stillness. That's it. Not dramatic, not theatrical. But if you did it with precision, you may notice something afterward. Your posture improves naturally. Your voice deepens slightly. Your eyes feel more steady. Your thoughts slow down, not from suppression, but from organization. This is one of the clearest signs dormant power is returning, when you stop wasting energy maintaining internal chaos. Now let's talk about the side effects that matter. Positive side effects: increased willpower without force, reduced craving for overstimulation, a stronger sense of boundaries, a feeling of inner spine psychologically, not just physically. Difficult side effects: restlessness at night, vivid dreams, emotional surfacing, a strange sensitivity to people's moods. If these occur, the remedy is simple and ancient. Ground. Eat simple food. Walk barefoot if possible. Reduce screens at night. Do the furnace code again, not more serpent work. Do not treat spiritual practice like addiction. Do not keep pressing the button for sensation. The Serpent Code respects discipline, not hunger. Now there is a deeper layer here that connects Egypt, India, and modern physics. Vibration organizes matter. A coherent system emits a different signature. Your body is electromagnetic. Your brain produces rhythms. Your heart produces a field. When you align breath and spine and attention, you create coherence across systems. The ancients experienced this as life force rising. Modern instruments measure pieces of it. Different
The Gold Code. This is the ancient alchemist method of locking awakened power into daily life so it doesn't evaporate into fantasy, obsession, or spiritual performance. There is a moment that almost no one talks about. Not the first breakthrough, not the first tingling in the brow, not the first sign that makes you feel chosen. The moment that decides everything is the morning after, because the true danger is not that the codes don't work. The true danger is that they do, and you return to ordinary life unchanged. That is the secret failure mode. You touch coherence, then immediately spend it on old habits. You feel a new clarity, then pour it back into the same arguments, the same dopamine loops, the same frantic self-narration. And within days, you start telling yourself the ancient teachings were exaggerated. No, the teachings worked. You just didn't seal them. Alchemists were ruthless about this. They were not romantics. They didn't care about your visions. They cared about your consistency. Because they understood a principle as strict as gravity. Transformation that cannot walk is not yet true. This is why the Gold Code exists. Not to awaken power, to make power stay. In Egypt, the final initiation was not inside the temple. It was at the threshold before the initiate stepped back into the street. In India, the test was whether your mantra changed your reactions when insulted. In Tibet, the proof was whether your inner wind remained stable in conflict, hunger, boredom, and fatigue. The Gold Code is the return, and it is devastatingly simple. So simple that the ego hates it, because the ego wants dramatic rituals it can brag about. The Gold Code gives you a small daily act that reveals whether your awakening is real. I still remember the first time I failed it. I had done the practices, I felt the field change, I felt calm, sharp, awake. Then a small inconvenience happened, a message, a delay, a person not acting the way I wanted. And I watched the old me rise like a reflex. I became tense, I became rude inside, I became impatient. And in that moment, I realized something that felt like a cold hand on the back of the neck. My awakening was still conditional. It depended on life being smooth. That is not gold. That is glitter. Gold remains gold in fire. So here is the Gold Code, a 3-gate seal performed in under 2 minutes, once per day, preferably at the same time each day for 7 days. Why 7 days? Because the nervous system learns through repetition. 7 days is long enough to create a new groove, short enough to feel achievable, and ancient traditions across cultures used 7 as a cycle of integration. Now listen closely, because this is the final code and it ties all the others together. Gate 1, the breath of ownership. Stand or sit upright. Place one hand on the chest. Inhale through the nose, slow.
As you inhale, silently say, "I return to my power." Exhale slowly. As you exhale, silently say, "I stop leaking energy." Do this 3 times. Not like a mantra for begging, like a decision. If you say it weakly, it stays weak. If you say it with quiet certainty, your field responds. This is the furnace code, returning containment and sealing. Gate 2, the 1-minute mirror. Now pick a single object in your space, a doorknob, a leaf, a corner, anything. Look at it for 1 full minute. No phone, no distraction, no drifting. This sounds stupid until you realize how violently the modern mind resists 1 minute of presence. If you cannot hold 1 minute, you are not in control of your attention, and attention is the currency of power. This is the mirror code, returning clarity without distortion. At the end of the minute, close your eyes for 3 seconds and ask internally, "What is here when I do not name it?" Then open your eyes again. No analysis, just the question. Gate 3, the spine seal. Now bring awareness to the base of your spine. Inhale, silently say, "Rise." Exhale, silently say, "Seal." Do that 7 times, then stop completely for 10 seconds. This is the Serpent Code, returning alignment and stability. When you finish, you are done. That is the Gold Code. 3 gates, 2 minutes, a daily seal. Now let me tell you why this matters in terms that even modern science can respect. Your brain changes through repeated attention. Your nervous system rewires through repeated state experiences. If you activate coherence once, it is like touching a new path in a forest. If you seal it daily, you turn that path into a road. The alchemists called it transmutation. Modern researchers might call it neuroplasticity, autonomic regulation, attentional training. Different languages, same mechanism. And here is the mythic truth behind it. The gold is not a supernatural power you receive from outside. The gold is the part of you that stays intact across moods, stress, temptation, and chaos. It is the inner sovereign. And that sovereign is not loud. It does not argue with the world. It changes the world by changing what you tolerate. Now there are mental traps that appear at the final stage. These are subtle because the ego learns to disguise itself as spirituality. The saint trap. You start performing goodness, trying to look enlightened. You become rigid. Your compassion becomes fake. Real gold is flexible. The secret addict trap. You become addicted to more hidden knowledge. You binge rituals and never integrate. Gold is integration, not consumption. The isolation trap. You decide the world is too low frequency, so you withdraw, judge, and harden. That is not gold. That is fear wearing robes. The correct sign that the gold code is working is humble. Your life becomes simpler. Your reactions become slower. Your choices become cleaner. You may even find that you speak less about spirituality and live it more. That is the deepest proof. Now I want you to do something that turns this from a video into a collective ritual. If you are truly willing to seal this for 7 days, go to the comments and type, "I have activated the gold code and the journey has begun." Or type, "I seal my power for 7 days." This is not a marketing trick. This is old magic. A vow spoken in public creates a field of accountability. When many people vow together, it becomes easier for each individual to hold steady. Collective resonance is real. You have felt it at concerts, at temples, in crowds, in prayer. Here, we use it for awakening. And if you want to go deeper with this community of people who are actually doing the work, not just collecting ideas, then subscribe to the channel. Not as a casual click, as a resonance act. When you subscribe, like, share, and leave your confirmation, you are feeding the signal. You are telling the algorithm, yes, preserve this knowledge. Yes, amplify this frequency. Yes, gather the ones who are ready, because that is what we are doing here. We are building a quiet temple in the modern world, a place where the old codes can survive without becoming a trend. So take one breath with me now. Inhale slowly, hold for 2 seconds, exhale longer than you inhaled, and in that exhale, feel the seal complete. If you felt even a small shift across these 4 codes, remember, just doing it once correctly can change your energy field forever. Not because you become someone else, because you finally become what you always were beneath the noise.